that like absolutely crazy, and once you've done so, the boss will be dead, and you'll have completed the Easter egg. I've got the cutscene on my channel.
Today I will be showing you how to beat one of my favorite maps, Gorod Krovi. Before starting Gorod Krovi's quests, there are a few prerequisites that need to be met. You must turn on the power, assemble the shield, unlock Pack-a-Punch, acquire the Dragon Strike, and hatch a baby dragon. If you do not know how to do these, I strongly recommend watching another guide first. Once you have done all of that, head back to the Pack-a-Punch building to begin the first step. Trick one of these clankers into attacking this generator, which will power it up and cause air to blow through these pipes in the main part of the map. Now this step seems intimidating, especially with the 5-minute timer, but it's actually really simple. There are 6 valves around the map, each of them being connected to 3 others. You need to find the one with the green light, which is your starting point, and the one with the cylinder stuck inside, which will be your end point. Now, all you need to do is take your starting point and redirect the airflow through the 4 other locations and then end where the cylinder is, which will push it through the pipe and allow you to pick it up. To make this a little easier, I recommend Stamina Up to run around a bit faster. And here is a visual guide that I made that I use every time. With that done, you'll be able to pick up the cylinder that was stuck in that tube and then give it to the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer. From there, you must input the password to be able to access this code cylinder. Thankfully, it's easy for us to guess due to its association with Die Glock research. I do recommend using Stamina Up for this step so that you can run this last zombie around a little easier while you shoot this thing. Now you are in phase 1 of the Easter egg, which requires you to find 6 missing code units around the map, in the form of trophies. Since they're all over the place, I do recommend Stamina Up so that you can pick them all up a little faster. The first one can be found in the hand of this statue, which can be knocked loose with an explosive. The second one is right here. The third one can be found in this puddle by the supply depot after hitting it with a Dragon Strike. For the fourth one, you must shoot the roof in the sewers, and then pick it up from this toilet in the Pack-a-Punch bunker. The fifth is in this safe, which is opened by meleeing it with the baby dragon. And for the last one, you will need the shield, which I will explain how to acquire now. But if you already know how to do this, you can skip to the time code on screen. There are 3 pieces that you must find on the map, and each one has 3 locations that they can spawn in, making a total of 9 locations that you must remember. The first piece can spawn on this chair next to Juggernog, on this rubble here, and on one of these shelves in the operations bunker. The second can spawn on this pile of rubble near Stamina Up, on this bed in the infirmary, and here on the wall further down. The final one can be found on the top level of the armory, on this pile of rubble, on this wall on the second level, and on this wall on the bottom level, kinda by the Wonderfizz spawn. When you get all 3 pieces, take them to this workbench, and you can assemble the Guard of Fafnir. This shield has a very dragon-inspired design and features a fireball attack that is very similar to the fireballs used by the Dragon Strike and by your little baby. Once you have your shield, you will have to take it over to the tank factory near Double Tap, equip it, and then fire it either towards this window or around the corner at this pipe, which will launch the trophy into the room. Now that you've got all 6 trophies, place them on this computer across from the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer, and you will enter phase 2 of the Easter egg. Each of these trophies is associated with a challenge that must now be complete. I will go over them now, but keep in mind that you will do them in an order. When you are ready, save a zombie at the end of the round, and interact with this button. First, I will go over the Valkyrie Escort Challenge. You must find it in Belinsky Square and then escort it over to this pad in Dragon Command. Friendly fire is enabled, so make sure not to kill it on the way, and you also have to stay really close to it, so I do not recommend Stamina Up for this step. Next, we'll go over the Mangler Escort Challenge. It's very similar to the Valkyrie Escort, just find him, lead him to the same spot, and make sure not to kill him. The next one I'll go over is the Groff Module Challenge. If you know how to open Pack-a-Punch, it's kind of like that, but just in case I will go over it. Skip to this time code on screen if you want to get back to the guide. Once the power is on, you'll start to get these code cylinder drops from the zombies. Each one is for a different location: Dragon Command, the Supply Depot, and the Tank Factory. Take the cylinder to its respective console, and then a Groff module will land somewhere on the map, which can be found by following the green light in the sky. Protect it from the zombies, and after enough time, it will open, revealing a part of the Dragon Network controller. You will have to do this once for each of the 3 locations to get all 3 parts, which can be taken to the operations bunker and inserted into this console. Now you can go to the platforms in the same areas you inserted those cylinders, and you can call a dragon to come over and fly you to the Pack-a-Punch building. Anyway, the Groff Module Challenge is kind of like that, but the module will spawn outside of the map. Just protect it until it opens up, and then send out your little buddy to pick up the contents, which you will then need to deliver to the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer to finish the challenge. Next, we'll go over the Bomb Challenge, the second most difficult challenge. You must defuse 6 bombs in 6 different areas of the map in the correct order and within the time limit, otherwise they will explode and kill you. Because of this, I do recommend quick revive so that you won't get a game over. Unless you're playing co-op, which I guess is a thing too. Since there's so little time, once you see that bomb trophy light up, it's best to start running and hope that you defuse them in the right order. It's very luck-based, so I tried looking up ways to increase personal luck. I was hoping for a cool ritual to do or maybe a potion to drink, but all I could find were things like be positive and do good deeds, so I guess just do one of those to make this step a little easier. Next up is the Gersh step, the hardest of the challenges. In this step, you will be hunting down the soul of Dr. Gersh, one of the playable characters from the fan-favorite map Ascension. You must find him and shoot him with upgraded weapons, and when you do, he will stay still for a few seconds, but then he will fly away. So do as much damage as quickly as possible to avoid losing him. When you do damage him enough, he will say one of his famous one-liners and then fly away anyway. Since he moves around so much, and there is a time limit, stamina up really helps for this step. Do this 3 times and then meet him at Dragon Command for information extraction. This part here is the reason this step is so difficult.
Information extraction is a mostly painless process.
He's just in so much agony, I have to mute my TV every time. And finally, we're on the lockdown challenge, which will always be last. Take this keycard from the computer and put it in this computer, which will start a lockdown just like when you got the Dragon Strike. If you don't know how the Dragon Strike lockdown works, I will go over it now, but if you do, just skip to this timecode. When you arrive at the Pack-a-Punch bunker, you will be able to start a lockdown by interacting with this pedestal. I think if you're playing co-op, every player has to do it at the same time, but I wouldn't know. The windows on all 3 sides of this building and the doorway to the basement will be blocked. This lockdown consists of 4 phases. The first 3 will have enemies coming in from just one side of the building, and the 4th will have them coming in from all 3 at the same time. You just gotta kill all the enemies, and when the 4th phase is complete, you can pick up the Dragon Strike controller. Anyway, the lockdown challenge is exactly the same, except it's only sprinting manglers. They're really dangerous, so I recommend killing them as fast as possible, and it also helps to have stamina up so that you can run away from them faster. When the download is complete, you can take the keycard back and give it to the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer, who will say that you're dumb and then give you the power core. Take this, and then go find the 3 bottles of vodka, and then have your baby dragon take it over to Fatter Russian. Run back to the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer, who will ascend and reveal the entrance to the boss fight arena. When you're ready, stand on this grate and you will enter the boss fight arena. Push this button to get Fred out of the rubble, and then you will fight the dragon together. Use stamina up to run around and survive until you hear Fatter Russian shoot the dragon with his spears, which will create weak spots that can be destroyed. When you destroy all 3, the dragon will die. But Fatter Russian will not be very thankful, so now you gotta kill him too. He's in a mech suit, which is very similar to the one Sarah Hall uses in the campaign when you fight her. However, the fights are nothing alike. He's got 5 weak spots in total. 2 on the front, which can be destroyed immediately. 2 on top, which sort of go up and down. I don't know how it works, I just kind of somehow got them anyway. And then, when you get those first 4, the last one will appear on the front. I keep hearing recommendations to use in plain sight to make this really easy, but I don't know, that just seems like nonsense to me. Once all 5 are destroyed, the battle is won. And that is Gorod Krovi complete. I hope this guide I made was able to help you complete it yourself. It's such a good map, and I think that everybody should be able to experience it. It's got such a cool atmosphere being in the middle of the Battle of Stalingrad, but a fantastical alternate version with big crazy robots and dragons. It just feels like we're in the middle of a war zone, kind of like Origins with the planes still flying around in the sky and the artillery going off on the horizon, as if it's just another day in the war. Nikolai is also such a great character. He's so sad about the death of his wife, which both versions have experienced, but they both chose different ways to cope with it. One turned to alcohol to numb the pain, and then had delusions of having other wives to try and minimize his feelings for the real one, and the other found different causes to devote himself to. First to his country, and then to the greater universe, in an attempt to replace the meaning in his life that he once got from his wife. And this desire to find purpose and escape his pain is probably why he was so willing to make the great sacrifice at the end of the story. But were either really happy? Did either of them really succeed in healing their pain? It seems to me like one just spent the rest of his life intoxicated, and the other endlessly sought out something to fill the emptiness in his soul, right up until his death. Anyway, I hope this guide was helpful.